So we may move on to the second part of our meeting. We still have some half an hour. So on these topics, I'd love to hear Michele Antonio Fino of Università degli Studi Scienze Gastronomiche di Pollenzo. He is a professor of Roman law. So one may wonder what this has to do with palm oil. It does have to do. He will tell us how the campaign against palm oil, as a matter of fact, has educated consumers in the wrong way. Over to you, Michele. Thank you. No, Roman law has nothing to do, including because the discovery of oil palm in Western Africa is more recent. But I'd like to go back to what Gwendalina said, and you said 20% more for consumer goods is a huge proportion. Well, Coldiretti study published on the 1st of September about consumer prices shows increases of 63% for butter and 20% for rice and flour. So we've already seen these shocks, and these shocks have been imposed by, a contingent situation for all. Instead, Gwendalina's view concerns the choice of consumers, and they are willing to pay more because of the product's characteristics. I teach foundations of European law at my university, and this is more connected to today's topic. But from the point of view of a law expert, well, we have to take account of Regulation 1169/2011, which decided that all sources of plant fats must define the name of the species from which the plant fat derived. We were at the beginning of a battle that had already started to be fought, a battle that was resting on some interests of European states that wanted to defend national interests. And well, this had to do with species other than palm oil. And so they considered labels that would favor their national product, because they pointed out that people, when it comes to food, tend to be neophobic, and Gwendalina can confirm that. So if you see palm oil as compared to olive oil, and previously they read plant oil or plant fats, and this could favor European oil productions. This was like in Fantasia when Mickey Mouse finds a way to multiply brooms, because what used to be a short-lived benefit and nationalism, like with the French, this has really become a nightmare, like in Fantasia, because this paved the way for conspiracy trends. Gwendalina's data is very interesting for those who deal with the democratic sharing of rules, because the fact that the young are willing to a new communication contract on sustainable palm oil does not only depend on their fresh mind as compared to the boomers, and I'm a boomer. Mauro Fontana, Carlo Alberto, and others like me are boomers, but this is not the only reason. It's not only about freshness of the mind of the youth. But when 10 years ago they had to decide for or against palm oil, they didn't decide. They didn't decide to say no to palm oil in terms of their political identity. And those who did today express annoyance because we continue to talk about palm oil. They know that they've embraced the cause of those who wanted to pay for ads to disseminate certain information against palm oil, but today changing their mind would mean that they were stupid, including maybe in the interest of the orangutans, and so they're not going to change their mind. This politically and in terms of regulations is extremely severe as a problem, because every time that a technical problem is polarized based upon positions that is very poor in terms of theory, this creates movements of opinion that make it impossible, since we are a democracy, to arrive at new shared solutions, because we are unable to make people change their mind, but they would be willing to recognize new information. Plus, the main Italian press agency that has disseminated fake news over the last decade continues to do so, saying that palm oil has been defined as an environmental disaster. They refer to palm oil as an environmental disaster, harmful for the health of humans. And this was published, edited, this stays online. I checked it 5 minutes ago because I didn't want to mention the wrong sources. But this also confirms that this is not the case, despite the work of RSPO and the new information made available. And RSPO is crucified by the same people. And today, according to me, there should be more communication about this certification, to have a new communication contract. And it's about the time between deforestation and the possibility to qualify as a sustainable crop on a piece of land once occupied by the forest, because conspiracy press against sustainable palm oil say that crops are on land that used to be forest 35 years ago. So on that, we should make a communication effort, because once we've solved this problem, the other aspects of the supply chain, i.e. the processing with the right temperature to guarantee the quality of product and the presence of non-harmful elements and the guarantees of the workers' right, we know that palm oil means well-being of workers. I mean, we do have this information. So once we've fixed this last main communication problem against sustainable palm oil, I'm convinced, like Gwendalina, a new communication contract can be established, but starting from those who have not yet spoken loud. Thank you. So the young. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michele. So all in all, positive news. So communication could align reality to perception. It's not easy. Gwendalina and you told us that people don't change their minds so easily, most especially if they've, become ideologists.